What's going on? What's up? What's up? Player mode for life. I get that. Everybody can't be a player though. I see you. You ain't gotta be married. You can still get a relationship, period. With some type of partnership. All right. Say something in the comment section. You know, I respect everybody's opinion coming in, but be respectful to the audience. Be respectful for the topic tonight. I know a lot of red pill MGTOW guys don't like don't respect marriages or long-term relationships. But at the end of the day, relationships is why we here. You know, a lot of times people, don't want to be honest about, everybody wants to have somebody to love. You know, you don't have to get married and all that extra if you've been already married and divorced, raped, or something like that. But a lot of times guys fear marriage because of what they lost in a previous marriage or moving forward. So today I want to talk about what can strengthen relationships when you get into one. You know, at the end of the day, I feel like relationships can be, hard because at the end of the day, no two people in the world are alike. You know, I'm gonna go over 3 videos that I did: 10 Commandments of dating, the 3 C's, and the 7 C's in a committed relationship, and then I'm gonna go over 10 things I desire in a woman. And now that's why I got the call-in number, because I would want the ladies to call in to chime in on what they would desire in a man. You know, at the end of the day, we trying to help people over here on this channel to understand the opposite sex, men, women, etc. We need to understand what's going on in a dating community, period. Because if relationships die, the species die, especially in the Black community. We want to make sure we can grow healthy families so we won't have all this simping and single momhood that's actually destroying the community in the first place. So we got to understand where's the disconnect with ladies and men, period. That's why I do these live streams. That's why I got my channel. It's for awareness, but at the end of the day, it's for healthy, happy lives. That's why I say attack your life. You stacking up a bunch of women is not going to help you in the long run as a man. Most of the time, you should be aware of nature, but at the same time, you can hurt yourself in the long run by pumping and dumping and doing all the extra, because, at the end of the day, it leads to nothing in the long run. So I don't know if Mike gonna call in right now, but we're gonna get started. You know what I'm saying? Or let me see. I'll just wait. So we're gonna get started. So first thing I will talk about is the 10 Commandments of dating. You know what? I'm gonna hit Mike up just cause he might have not got the notification. And I like to see Mike's perspective in the beginning instead of going back. So let's hit Mike up real quick. I didn't really want to start it without him because I didn't want to go backwards on this live stream. And if anybody else want to call in, y'all can call in right now too. So, and Mike might not be there, so we'll see. Usually I call him before the show to see if he's available. All right, so no Mike tonight. Well, he might call in, but it's all good. So the first thing, the 10 Commandments of dating. The first thing on my 10 Commandments of dating, if you go back and watch the video, it's about a 15-minute video. The first thing I wanted to say is anytime you date somebody, you got to watch that person. Do they put God first? Do they live their life godly? Are y'all in the same spiritual realm? Like, and I'm not sitting here saying be be holy than thou, but you got to have some type of spiritual connection. What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, Stacks? What's going on, Room? What we talking about today?
Well, we talking about our relationships hard. So I started off. I mean, I wanted to call. I called. That's why I called you. I called you while we was live. You know, I called you before we get live, but I was like, I'm not going to start without Mike tonight because I know Mike like to, jump in. I didn't want to go backwards and talk about it. Talk about it. Sometimes you'll call in late, and then I have to go back and talk about it. So, but we was talking about 3 of my videos that I did. We're going to start, we always use a talking point from the old videos. And the one video I want to use, the 10 Commandments of dating. And the first thing I was saying was the first thing you want to do in your in the 10 Commandments of dating for me is I search out for people that got the same spiritual desires that I have, or by putting God first and understanding the natural order. So how do you feel about that?
Man, I strongly agree with you on that, man. You gotta honestly, like you said before, if you ain't dealing with a person that's equally yoked as you, and have those same kind of beliefs and strengths and standards that you got, man, it's gonna be a very, very hard battle, man. And I see through your teachings of how you started breaking shit down, and I'm like, damn, what he's saying is right, because no matter what I keep doing, sometimes whoever I'm with, I still keep going through the same shit. And when you see that you're still going through the same shit with that one person, you gotta drop them. You gotta drop them.
Facts. At the end of the day, you because really the deal breaker, if y'all not on the same spiritual, because things are gonna come, things are gonna get hard, and in your life, period, by yourself. But if you don't get through that with God, then I don't know what to tell you, because at the end of the day, He is the beginning, He's the end. He put you through tests to get your testimony to help somebody else later. And a lot of times people don't understand that about they get selfish in their ways because they're going through something. And that's why I said stack attack your problems. But when you stack attack your problems, you got to give it to your Savior, give it to the Lord or whoever your Most High is, because a lot of people are different. A lot of people are Muslims. A lot of people are different, but you want to find somebody on the same spiritual realm while you're in relationships, because at some point when you have a foundation, that foundation will be tested. So that's why I feel like putting God first, is the main thing, and being on the same spiritual realm as somebody. So I'm gonna move on to number 2. On that 10 Commandments of dating is date what you're attracted to. You don't supposed to be honest. Men are visual. We're visual creatures, but there's no way in hell I could date somebody that I'm not attracted to. Not saying, women do it different than men. Men are going to be visual. They got to have something that they like to see. How you feel about that, Mike? Date what you're attracted to.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. No, I said number 2 is date what you're attracted to. How you feel about that?
Man, if you're going to date what you're attracted to, make sure it's not just with the body. Make sure it's with the spirit, the belief in God, putting God first, like you said.
Yeah.
And most of all, have that same like mentality that you and this person have. That way y'all get along. There's no real kind of ripples in the road, even though there's nothing perfect. But you know what you're willing to put up with and what you're not willing to put up with. Because there's a lot of shit in this world that I got a low tolerance for, man. No real shit.
All right. Somebody asked on the other stream, what was number 1? Number 1 was put God first. So we on Stack 44 on YouTube. So if you want to jump in and switch from that stream to this stream, and then you could call in live, the numbers in the title. But yeah, man, you definitely got to date what you're attracted to. At the end of the day, a lot of times, guys will try to, and women do it too. They have this build a better moment when they feel like they can build a woman up or build a guy up, and then it just don't work out, because eventually your dopamine of attraction is gonna always mess with you. Because if you used to a certain type of attraction from a man or a woman, and then that's what you used to. It's just like if you used to drinking a certain drink and all of a sudden you drinking water all the time, you're going to fiend for that drink. So same thing with that, attraction is not everything, but it's something to start off the whole relationship. You know what I mean? Because you want to feel like you look good with the person you with, period. But I'm not mad for people to get what they want. You know what I'm saying? So number 3 on the 10 Commandments of Dating on my channel, I got that video. Go back and check it out, guys. But the number 3 thing I said was set boundaries. You got to set boundaries for your life. And a lot of times, this is the thing that, to me, this is the deal breaker for the playbook of who you dating before you start a relationship. If y'all boundaries match up, somebody got to be the defense and somebody got to be the offense. You put that together, you win a championship. And by setting boundaries, you understand her boundaries, she understands your boundaries. But then when y'all come together in a relationship, y'all put that boundaries together and say, this is how we're going to move. Because at the end of the day, even if you set boundaries, you're going to always watch somebody else's boundaries as well, because once you have, it's just like if you have a solid foundation and then somebody said they got a solid foundation, you're going to spy on that foundation and make sure it's right. And make sure that foundation, we can merge our foundations together. So setting boundaries is a big thing. And it in the long run, it helps out because the same way you start, the same way you finish. How you feel about setting boundaries?
Man, that shit, you couldn't have said it any more clear, man. When you set boundaries for that individual, they're either going to let you know off the top what they're about, and they're going to try to hold it down, or they're going to flake, and then eventually you're going to want to either leave out of that situation or cause them to leave. Because if they don't have their own boundaries set, then the relationship is going to be unstable, point blank. When you set boundaries and you let that individual know, hey, listen, what are you willing to expect? Because this is what I expect out of you and how things should be kept. If this individual that you're dealing with is way out of line and way off balance, then that's going to cause your world to get a lot rockier than usual rather than having some stability as what all relationships should have. Because, for example, if you're dating somebody and that person has a habit of being in an open relationship and you want something more, how should I say, what do they call that?
Anomalous. I can't even say it.
I forgot what they call that shit. Exclusive. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, you want something exclusive. You want that one-on-one. But if they want an open relationship and you chose to be with them and they're not, doing as to what you adding up on, then you just willingly walked into that fucked up contract. Now you got to either deal with it, you either going to stay there and deal with it and watch everybody, do whatever they want to do to that other person that you're supposed to be exclusive with, or you could just say, hey, you know what, that shit ain't for me. I already let them know the boundaries. They didn't want that. It's obvious they want what they want, so I'm going to have to step back and let them do whatever they want because that's not what I want. I want what's over there.
Yeah, the boundaries.
So you're right about that, John.
The boundaries is the biggest shit test to make sure a person's qualified for your lifestyle. And a lot of times people will stretch their boundaries because of somebody has that attraction, and then they will lose their whole soul chasing after somebody that don't even fit your boundaries. And that's why boundaries are so important after you get the attraction, because a couple weeks ago we did a video on dating at the 30s, like dating going to the used car lot. You may see a car look good on the outside, but you get inside of it, it may be all messed up and it may be a lemon. You know what I'm saying? So the boundaries come right after the attraction, because the attraction is cool to get you in a foot in the door, but it can't keep a man, it can't keep a woman if the boundaries aren't set. But at the same time, as a man or a woman, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's sometimes, unfortunately, for a lot of women and men, we'll fall for things and then we set boundaries, but then we then made life-changing moves, like having an 18-year sentence with a child. And that's why a lot of guys get turned off when women be like, I'm a born again virgin, and you look at her and she got 2 fucking kids. then you look like a hypocrite when you didn't set the boundaries in the first place. You can't. I mean, it's good to do better and know better once you made mistakes, but you have to be realistic of what you're asking the next person to come in and do after you didn't do it right the first time. And I'm not shaming nobody for making, having a baby outside of marriage or anything like that. But you can't expect the one person to come in and pay more than the other person didn't pay. You have to, you know what I'm saying? You can't expect that. You gotta still like be free spirit, and hopefully this person and y'all on the same path. So we'll get to that in a minute. That was a boundary one. But all right, so
kind of reminded me of that car shit. I will get to that though.
All right, so my number 4 on 10 Commandments of dating is you got to date in the right time length. And what I mean by that, if you've been in a long-term relationship, you got to have some time to refine and discover yourself. A lot of times people want to jump in and monkey branch after they've been in a long relationship because that dopamine of having somebody next to them feels real good, and they don't wait the good time to realize who they are. When you walk out of a relationship, that's the best time when you analyze who you are as a person, because you was partner up with somebody, then you realize how much weight can you carry on your own. And once you realize how much weight you could carry on your own, you realize what you're lacking, and then you can work on yourself and rediscover who you are. So when you get in a relationship again, it builds up your boundaries. A lot of times people just jump right into things, and I think you should wait to a year, 6 months to a year, no matter what, to rediscover yourself as a man or a woman. How you feel about that, Mike?
Man, I feel that is some serious shit. I was talking to my homegirl just the other day, and I'm going to share a story with you, Stats, because I know you real and I know you know about this whole marriage shit and then some. So there was this girl, and she was dealing with this other dude. So my shorty was telling me, hey, you know what? My homegirl was dealing with this other dude, and now she was talking about she had her starting 5 lineup. I was like, what the fuck is her starting lineup? Starting 5 lineup. She had 5 niggas that she all of a sudden started talking to all on some random shit after dealing with her boyfriend that she was married to, that she didn't get a hold of no longer, because after they had the kids, she decided, after getting a bug in her ear, she wanted to be with somebody else. So she didn't even, this was all within like a month's matter of time, she got her starting 5 lineup. So right now she's dealing with a couple of niggas that's some painkillers. She didn't take the time to discover herself, so now she's bouncing from dick to dick to dick to dick, literally from person to person to person to person, not realizing that she should have fixed the problem and saw the mistakes that she made within herself to not make those same mistakes again. But instead of doing that and seeing where she's supposed to be at, she went from bad to worse by just dealing with another group of 5 individuals, and she's got kids. Now she's dealing with those 5 dudes that got problems of their own. So she just complicated the situation even more.
That's crazy. At the end of the day, relationships are not for the weak, selfish, or insecure. And a lot of times people get selfish in their ways and not realize that they need to look themselves in the mirror and change some things. Like I said, you got to work on yourself for a good period of time before you can deal with anybody else. And just like I use that analogy of when you on an airplane, they tell you if the oxygen mask come down, put your oxygen mask on first before you assist somebody else. And a lot of times people are not putting their oxygen mask, and they're suffocating their own self while they supposedly be with other people. They can't help nobody else if you don't take care of yourself first. That's why I always tell you guys, you versus you. All right, number 5. Don't bring people around your kids. This is a big one. A lot of times people present, and a lot of times women, it's nothing wrong with a woman letting a man know I have children. But when you come off as if this is a package deal, a guy is going to think twice. Just because, not to be prejudging, you have the most wonderful kids in the world, but you gotta really date as top secret, like your kids are your kids, and I'm trying to get to know you and see where it goes. A lot of times women will lead with their kids and bring their kids around a man too fast, or a man would do the same because he feel like, if I got a little daughter and I date a woman with no kids and she like kids, I can use that as game. And then the attachment come that she's around my daughter, and it can get all fucking messy, be honest. But at the end of the day, you man or woman, you need to keep your kids, by the wayside, and just worry about the companionship and building the relationship, and don't involve your kids in it. And ladies, I always tell ladies this: keep your kids top secret. Like, I got my life with my children, but I got my life of my dating life. You got to make a man buy into you and make him want to meet your kids, not throw your kids on a man. A lot of women do that, and that's a big mistake. But at the end of the day, keep people away from your kids. And guys, don't use your kids to steal hearts, because guys do that. They use their kids to steal a woman's heart, especially if a woman don't have kids and she up there in age. She started playing stepmom, and then next thing you know, they break up, and then she's still worrying about the kids and in love with the kids. How you feel about that, Mike?
Man, it's crazy because, you got to think about it. It's the attachment, and then there's the bond. When you make that attachment and you make that a bond, when you want to keep the kids a secret, depending on whatever it is that you do, especially when you're dating, I can understand if you're going steady and you want that individual to know who your kids are after a certain amount of time of being with you, that's cool. But when the relationship is over and there's kids involved, the main ones that are going to suffer is the kids, a majority of the time. They're going to remember you, providing that you did right by them. But as far as the individual, dealing with them that didn't have kids, I know what that's like, especially with dealing with a single mom. The kids are always going to remember you. But at the same time, it's just like, damn, you already lost that bond, you lost your attachment. So you got to be very careful of who you involve your family with, especially when you're with dating. And, of course, there's the baby mama travel, but nobody gives a fuck about that. Moving on.
Man, but I feel like one thing I want to say is I feel like women shouldn't even introduce a man unless he's marriage minded, or I don't even know if you want to call a long-term boyfriend and introduce the kids thing. To me, if you don't see no engagement coming, or no, I don't believe in shacking, but I believe in, if engagement come and this person gonna be there for the long haul, then I can see you introducing the kids. But if it's no engagement, no marriage set or nothing like that, it's a waste of time. Is a lot of times women will move in with men, and then next thing you know, your kids around, and your kids, unfortunately, a lot of times, and I hate to say it, but a lot of times your kids may lose respect for you when they get older and realize the natural order of how things should be done. When they might get 16, 17, 18 and look back like, damn, mom had us living with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the shacking thing is one thing, but when you involve the kids with it, that's another thing. Like, I don't believe the kids should meet the guy unless the guy got a title more than the boyfriend. Fiance, husband, that's the only way I feel like a man should meet your kids, be honest. That's just me. Period. Because at least if it's a fiance, that's a trial period before you get married. Then during that trial period before you get married, you don't have to set a date, but you can actually say, how do I work with the kids? I could be wrong, because a lot of times people want to see how you react with my kids before I ask. A man might say it before he even asks a woman to marry him. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like it should be no shacking going on when you have kids. That's a no-no for me. Everybody's different, but for me, I don't feel like your kids should be in an environment when a man can go batshit crazy, and then next thing you know, your kids are in harm's way, and they daddy got to get involved. It's a whole fucking mess. But moving on, number 6 on 10 Commandments of dating is somebody got to show you a testimony. And what I mean by that, just like we're talking right now, like, if I'm dating somebody and they can't give me a testimony of their good, their bad, their ugly, because let's look at it. Your life is like a battery. You're gonna have the negative part, you're gonna have the positive part. But where is your energy at? Because you gotta have I definitely had negative days in my life. I definitely had positive days in my life. But you can see my energy, my good way out my bad. So that's how I am as a person. But only way I can actually present myself to somebody is tell somebody what I've been through. And if somebody can't tell you what they've been through and they brush it under the rug, you might be dealing with a narcissist and don't even know it. Or a person that's very selfish and they don't get their way, then they're out. A lot of times in relationships, people get very get complacent for a second, and as soon as they're a sign of trouble, then they're gone. They're runners. So a lot of times a person's truth, if they live in a truth, they should be able to tell the truth about their testimony of who they are and where they came from. How you feel about that, Mike?
Man,
do you feel like a testimony or the past helps you understand who that person is?
Yes, big time. I just had to take a minute there to pause up because certain individuals I feel like I should have never fucking crossed paths with. I mean, I've been through a lot, but at the same time, it made me a very much stronger individual. So that way, I could spot the enemy or who's not, trying to how should I say, partake the adventures that I would like to partake. You'll know if somebody's really against you when you bring up certain things, and it could be kind or friendly or just normal. But if you see that individual starts to say something and do something else, then you got to really pay attention to who your friends are, because they might be doing one thing and saying another, and that shit ain't lining up with you really trying to do. So you got to be very careful of that. And yes, the narcissist is very dangerous. So that made me a better man today to spot the bullshit of what's going on, and to help me create better wavelengths to sever myself, not to go through in conflict with them, but to just go around them to completing the goal of what I really got to do, and for the people that I think deserve to be in my life, as opposed to the people that don't.
Facts. Now, ladies, I would like a lady to call in. I put the number in the chat. Like the lady to call in to chime in on this topic. So if you're willing to call, call on in. I know it's being recorded on YouTube, but nobody know who you are. Just go and call in and, give me, we're like the woman's perspective. So, the call line is open. It's the number's in the chat. So just go and call in. All right, so yeah, that testimony thing is a big thing because it kind of tells a person where they've been, where they're going, all that good stuff. And on top of that, it actually helps you understand who they are. Like, I feel like people with bad childhoods, they can rebound, but they don't get help to tell you exactly how they got where they're at now. Because a lot of times people hide their childhoods. A lot of times I didn't deal with women that had bad childhoods but never got help, and it affected them being an adult. It affected them for the affection or the protection I was bringing as a man, because a lot of times women say they want protection, and protection is being proactive and telling you something that's for your good. And a lot of times women that don't understand that proactive protection from a man's voice will feel like, oh, he's trying to fucking run me. He's trying to control me. No, he's trying to tell you what's best, because at the end of the day, he's the protector as a man. And if she don't see that growing up, she's gonna be lost on that. So that's a big thing too. You got anything to add on that?
Yeah, that's very serious. And that also goes to show you, when you're in a relationship with that individual and you offering the protection, even in any and all aspects of the relationship, especially when there's a danger, be very careful, because in a lot of ways, when a serious, really life-threatening situation may come up, not all the time, but it may come up, and you're trying to reason with this individual and they're fighting against you, they could almost get you killed or hurt badly because they don't want to listen. And all you were trying to do was just the right thing by them. So be very careful with that, people. I'm saying that on the good half, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't realize that tough love is a good love. And it happens not just parenting, it happens in relationship. Even if a woman tell you something that you need to hear, you need to listen. Same thing for a man. If he's being very stern about how he want his woman to be, then she need to just let it be, period. You know what I'm saying? All right, moving forward. The next thing is, I hate to say it, but it's the background check. Number 7 on the 10 Commandments of dating is a background check. You want to watch how her family, how she intertwined with her family, her friends, and her social media. Because at the end of the day, you got to realize that this woman could potentially be representing you one day. And you want to know, where is she's family oriented? Is her friends some type of friends that's going to keep her single? Or what is it going to be? So how you feel about the background check of the social media, family, friends, and things like that?
Honestly, I really believe that it describes their character on how they're going to act, not only in private, but in public. And depending on how they carry themselves, and, whether it's private or public, and they're putting it out there on social media, more than likely they're going to be acting like that in the street. It's basically like a soul representation of themselves, depending on who they're around, too. And another thing I'm going to mention, too, they could be on social media, and depending on how they act, not just by how they act, but also the company that they keep. If she's on some Ringling Brothers and Bombing and Daily Circus type of shit, doing all of that twerking, all this other clown shit, keep her friends, and they're going to tell you exactly who she is, guilt by association. And I can't be any more clear than that.
Facts. Hey, you was on point on that one. So the next thing after the background check, number 8, is we talked about this, I think the last live stream. Stop texting and start talking. At the end of the day, if you're going to be a person that I'm interested in, I need to hear your voice. I get the texting during the week if we're busy. You may have kids, you may be hitting the gym, you may be doing things as well. Your schedule might be busy, but at the end of the day, you got to stop texting and start talking to understand who people really are. Have these deep conversations, because at the end of the day, if you're just texting, that's just really a flag of just telling me you want one thing. You just want some ass. Period. Man or woman. You want some money. You want something short term if you're a short term texter. If you can't give me an hour conversation or act like we in high school, like when I was growing up, we fall asleep on a damn fucking phone, period, when we was getting to know people. Even now, as a grown man, you could be on the phone with a woman for an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, and time go past. Like, at the end of the day, as a man, you don't want to enter into something that may be dangerous for you. And that means, that I'm talking about sexually. So you got to know where her mindset is. Because if you just, when you get what you get the same way you start, the same way you finish. If you come in trying to do all this quick text and quick this, and then you get it quick or whatever, it ain't really no crazy time period on it. But if you don't know this person, and then you ghost them, who say she might not come bust out your windows, or finesse has a dark side to it that people don't talk about, men or women, because people don't want to be hurt. So at the end of the day, get to know somebody, because at the end of the day, you're exchanging energy. You got soul ties are involved. And you just, like you said, the woman that wants to, get this dick, that dick, and move around, it's very important to understand who you talking to. You know what I'm saying? Because if a person's not consistent with their communication, then you definitely need to cut them off, because texting is no effort. You could text 5, 6 people at one fucking time, and that don't mean nothing. How do you supposed to feel special as a man or a woman if a person can't hold a conversation with you? How you feel about that, Mike? Got you, Mike?
Mike? Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all, man. You on point with that shit. And on top of that, too, if they can't hold the intellectual conversation, like conversation about something of any kind of like subject matter, like something that actually makes sense. when you get along with those people that don't make any sense, or they want to text, that only makes me think that they're preoccupied with something else. It's like if a girl was to text me and just text me, and I'm like, yo, just call me, and she still decides to text, that's going to make me think a lot of things that she might be dealing with another dude, and I'm not really about that. I'm about serious matters, making money move, shit like that. If a person doesn't even take the effort to even pick up the phone and dial, and shit is touchscreen, so if you on Twitter or any kind of social media and you only want to text, I'm going to be like, fuck out of here with that bullshit. You can take that way over there. Serious people only over here.
Because at the end of the day, men play video games, women play men. And I'm not saying it is a mean thing, because a man could pick up a controller and be on that game for 3 hours, but a woman could pick up a damn phone and be on Instagram, dating websites, messaging back and forth, texting. That's her video game, the phone, most of the time. And I ain't saying men don't do the same thing, but a lot of times women can get preoccupied by using the phone and using the text messages and all that, and the messages on dating websites to actually feel validated, get a good attention. Women sometimes are like say attention. Well, we said this before, attention whores. They love attention. They love that somebody, or that's their dopamine. And that's what's wrong with today's world is phones and attention becomes people's dopamine, and that's why a lot of times and that's why I wish a woman would call in, because I don't want to just give it a man's perspective. I always want to give it on both sides. But a lot of times what I see is, they be clout chasing, thirst trapping, but then they get mad when a dude get a little extra aggressive if they over sexualize themselves on dating websites or on social medias. So how you feel about that, Mike?
Shit, man. I mean, hey, look, if you're going to put it out there and flaunt that shit, just be prepared to deal with the consequences. And another thing I wanted to say, too, is another individual who I knew from way back, he put out this what's it called? A meme? Yeah, he put out a meme with this chick. She was showing her ass and everything in the mirror. And he was like, yo, if this is all you have to offer, hey, you ain't shit. And I was just like, wow. And then when you looked in the mirror, you see that she's got the phone pointing in a different direction, but there's another mirror that's pointing at her background. She's got trash and shit all over the floor. So people really need to pay attention to the red flags when they're dealing with certain people, because it's all about the energy. They may look good on the inside, they may be stunting for the gram or whatever it is that they're showing as a public success. But in private, behind the scenes, once the doors are closed and once it's closing time, they're nothing more but a private failure.
Facts. I totally agree with that. A lot of times people don't take heed of their value for themselves. A lot of times people don't realize that you giving too many people access with all the dating websites and shit like that. So that's a good one, with the, stop texting, start talking. And really that basically saying have more self-respect for yourself. Are you better than just having a text? You know what I'm saying? So that's another one. Number 9, meet up for the first date. You don't know who these people could be. You don't know what type of driving record they got. You don't know none of this shit. So don't just jump in the car with a dude or a woman or whatever. Basically, I'm talking to women on this one, because I read about 2018, it was a lady met a guy on Tinder. She took an Uber to the spot, but he drove a motorcycle. And long story short, she ended up getting on a motorcycle after the date with him, and she fell off the motorcycle on the highway and got ran over by like 6 cars. And he just rolled off. He left her.
Holy shit.
So I talked about this on that video, but it was, if you look it up, it's a Tinder date went bad, or I don't know what it is. It's on Google somewhere. But it literally, like, you need to meet up with people, because you don't know nothing. I mean, you don't know you don't know who people really are. You know what I'm saying? You gotta feel the vibe, feel the energy, all that good stuff. So that's meeting up with a person is a good thing in the long run. Because I had situations in my life I didn't meet up with. The first time I kicked it with a young lady, it was 2006. I went over there. Her fucking baby daddy came over there, beaming on the door, calling the phone. I look outside, this dude scratching up my car and all kind of shit. I'm like, dude, I'm just the first dude. I mean, the first time coming over here, what are you doing, dude? You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people be tripping. You don't know who people really are. So definitely meet up with people. That's why I say it's important to see the consistency with the phone conversation and meet up with somebody, because you got to have a rule of how you protect your energy. How you feel about that, Mike?
Man, that's deep. I mean, like, a lot of people need to take into consideration of what's going on and how they're dealing with a lot of people. And I always say, if you're going to meet up with somebody for the first time, don't bring them to your crib, and damn sure don't go over there to their house. You may pass by where they live and act like, you just passing by, but don't go over there to their crib. If you're going to meet up with them, just play it safe for the first time, a second time, a third time, so after you get real comfortable, and see what kind of individuals you want to hang around. Do they look potentially dangerous? Always meet up in the public with some cameras, maybe to get like a cup of coffee. That's if you drink coffee, or to do something that's in the public. Never really try to do anything in the private, because I've seen shit on World Star. I mean, I've even been through some shit. I found out that the chick at one point that I started talking to, when I sat down in her crib, I found out that her man was in prison and she was dealing the dope for him. I crept out that house, put my fucking car in neutral, let that bitch roll back down the hill, started that bitch up, and peeled the fuck off.
Yeah, you never know, man. I mean, relationships are risks. Let's just be honest. A lot of times people don't want to, they should call them risks, not relationships. They're risks. So you don't know what you're getting yourself into, what type of baggage a person's bringing to you, what type of negative energy a person might bring to you. And that's why a lot of times when you get my age, 39 years old, you just want peace. And you want a woman to be a piece to your pillow. Like my girl China White say, somebody that come in and just be cool. I don't need all that. Men want peace. They don't want pressure. And that's why a lot of women, if they understand how to treat a man and how to move, the ones that look for companionship and don't overstep their boundaries, they are the ones that actually win in the long run. But the women that are pressuring a man and just pressuring. And that's why, like, for me, I try to date women that's been married before or been in a long-term relationship, because they're not in a rush, especially almost being 40. A lot of times when you date women that's almost 40 or after 40 that never been married, a lot of these women have a lot of a time thing, they be like, I gotta get married now, and I don't want that type of energy around. So for me, I'm good on that. So moving on, you got anything to add? You good on that? Meeting up for dates? You said what you had to say on that one?
Oh yeah, and most of all, also try to question that individual when you're asking them questions. Just ask them intelligent questions. See if they might be potentially dangerous, mentally unstable, because it may not be the situation where that guy scratched up your contacts. Yeah. It actually may be the girl or whoever, if she decides to go south and things don't go right on that date, be prepared to have an exit to safety if you need to get where you got to go. That's
and always let somebody know where you at. You go first date with somebody, a man or a woman, even a man, because women are here setting dudes up. You got to let people know where you're going and who you least going with. So if something that happened, they have a trail of what happened and how it happened. Especially for women. More women than men. Y'all definitely need to keep y'all homegirls or somebody involved of, I'm meeting up with this guy, such. So if they go left, at least somebody can get prosecuted or something can happen. So that's definitely a big key. So
chicks be getting raped and killed, and niggas be getting robbed.
For real.
Real shit.
Exactly. All right, my last thing on 10 commandments of dating, number 10 is a person's work ethic. This one is very important to me because it shows if a person works hard in their regular everyday life, that means they're going to put in the work to keep their relationship together. And a lot of times people with lazy work ethics are going to be lazy in a relationship. Those are the people who are going to let the relationship go by the wayside. So just like me, I cannot be with a woman that's not going to have some type of physical fitness about herself because I work out. I just can't be with nobody that just going, all the labor I'm hitting in the gym and looking good. Then I come home, she just sitting on the couch doing nothing. I can't do it. I can't do it, period. You're going to have to get active if you're going to be my woman. And the same thing with me. I might, or I feel like you're supposed to actually feed off each other's energy. So if you read books or you look at poems and shit, I'm going to start eventually reading books and reading shit more and stuff like that and listen to poems and something like that. That's a good thing. But for me, a deal breaker is the work ethic. And I ain't talking about the gym. It's just the work ethic of who you are as a person. If you working hard, or just being a great mother or just a great worker or entrepreneur, whatever, that shows me that the relationship to me is that's a center point of your life. So if you choose to get in there and you already got that work ethic, I know you're going to bring it. So how you feel about that, Mike? Work ethic in a relationship? I think we lost Mike. But work ethic in a relationship.
No, I'm here. I'm sorry.
No. So how you feel about the? Oh, my bad. So how you feel about the work ethic in a relationship? Because it says a lot about how a woman or a man will go hard for you. You don't want nobody that don't have the same work ethic that you don't have.
That brings up the whole shit about the title that you mentioned from before, being equally yoked. Because you don't want to put the cart before the horse. Or have the horse that's not trying to pull evenly as you, because you're going to be doing most of the work. You have to have somebody who has that same mindset as you and has that same work ethic as you. That way, it doesn't become a strain on the relationship itself. If you're doing a majority of the work and this person is really laid back, you're going to have a very hard time in that relationship, or you're going to feel so strenuous, you're going to get frustrated to the point to where you don't want to deal with that individual anymore. So you want to make sure that that same individual that you're dealing with is just as equally as yoked as you. Because when you got the teamwork going on, the dream can work. If you ain't got no teamwork, that's what the dream ain't gonna work. Yeah,
facts. Because that's right. Dreams without goals are just dreams. So a lot of times people don't understand that mindset is you got to have goals. It starts with you versus you and you versus yourself and working hard for yourself. Because once you work hard for yourself and you look at the reflection in the mirror that I'll put my work in, then you will find people that reflect off of your stature of who you are as a man or a woman. So same thing could be said with just life and period. You attract what you are. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure you're the best version of who you want to be as a man or a woman. So that was my 10 commandments of dating for that video. I'm going to go over, I'm just going to say what we said one more time. And, and I asked Mike what sticks out to him. The first thing was to put God first. Second thing was date what you're attracted to. The third thing was set boundaries. The fourth thing was date after a certain amount of time. Have a season to yourself after dating somebody before you jump into something else. Number 5 was don't bring people around your kids. Number 6 was deal with people that can give you a testimony of how they got here in life, period. Number 7 was basically a background check on their social media, their family, their friends, see what type of people they around, because birds of a feather flock together. I said that all wrong. But number 8 is stop texting, start talking. Make sure a person that put in some work to talk to you, to get to know you. I feel like a woman, be honest, a woman should have hour requirement. How long you talk to me before I even open my legs? Be honest, but hey, it is what it is. Number 9 is meet up for the date, and number 10, meet up for the first couple of dates until you get to know a person, and then number 10 is hard work ethic. What is a person work ethic like? Because at the end of the day, you don't want a lazy man if you're a woman that's active. And if you're a man that's active, you don't want a lazy woman. It's not going to work. It's not going to be equally yoked, like my boy Mike said. Anything stuck out to you on that list, Mike?
Nah, man, you pretty much covered the majority of them, if not all of them. And a lot of people need to realize this and wake up and see the situation for what it is, no matter if you're, man or woman. It's not just one-sided. It's equally sided. The shit is, we got a lot of people out there that are not God's children. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe in God. They have no faith in God. They don't do anything when it comes down to God and believing in the Most High. So, you got to avoid those people at all costs, because right now we're in biblical times and the shit is getting serious.
Facts.
So, y'all need to get up on Stacks page, you know what I'm saying? Log in, whoever you know that's having a hard time. Recommend Stacks 44, man. He'll save your life, man. He'll change up a lot of shit around and help you see the shit that everybody's trying to blind us with.
Facts.
See the reality and improve on your life and on yourself, man. For real.
Facts. So the next video I'm going to talk about, we're going to jump into this one, is the 7 C's in a committed relationship. And now these 7 C's of a committed relationship is, you want a caring, loving relationship. And these 7 C's can help you have your relationship grow. And this is like if you're like literally committed. Like, I'm not talking about you just dating somebody. This is gonna these 7 C's. If you keep these 7 C's close, that it will help you have a great relationship. So if y'all don't know, if y'all want to see the video, go back and check it out on my page. But we're gonna talk about it right here too. And like I said, ladies, if you're watching, if you want to call in, it was good to hit a female's point of view as well. So the number 1 C is cooperation. That starts with any time when you end up meet anybody or in anything, everything starts with cooperation. Because a lot of times, be honest, at 39 years old, I ain't got time to chase no woman. I'm not doing it. For real. Like, if you're not going to be cooperative to my phone calls or the cooperative to just, what's going on with me and you, I can't deal with it. You know what I mean? Cooperation goes a long way, because I got to feel like a woman wants to be there. If a woman don't want to be there, then there's the door, period. So cooperation, is, I get a little chase, but at the same time, cooperation. Like, if I'm calling you, texting you, and you're not hitting me back, then what's the point? I don't need an attention whore on my side. How you feel about cooperation, Mike?
Man, I feel like this, man. If she ain't with the game plan, fuck it, let the bitch stress that what she rests at, man. I can't fuck with them. When they doing like little sideways shit and they don't seem like they don't have a high level of interest, that person's interest has to be on your level. Remember, they're supposed to be bringing
value. They didn't help.
Not problem. Yeah, value. If they ain't bringing nothing but problems, if she ain't giving that cooperation, it ain't nothing to cut the bitch off, man. For real.
And they got to realize a woman's job in the Bible is to be the helpmeet. A lot of times people don't know that. They feel like I got independent, got my own money, then I'm not trying to do nothing. He chased me. I get it. The men are the hunters.
That brings it back to the biblical, not trying to be all fucking church and shit. You know what we call those, right? Jezebels.
Yeah. So cooperation, not trying to move the goalposts when we're talking about deep issues and this and that, because a lot of times women don't want to hear the truth and don't want to accept the truth. But at the same time, cooperation is a key. And that's for men too, and we'll get to that more down the list while I talk about things that I see that a man could do a little bit more as well. But cooperation on both sides needs to be there to start something, to start the foundation. You know what I mean? Because the dirt and the soil, everything got to be there to start that foundation, for real. All right, number 2, communication. Communication got to be there. You're not going to be the same person you was when you was 26 and now you're 36. So if you dating somebody for 10 years or married for 10 years, the communication got to change about everything. Oh, shit. It might be a troll. Let's see. Hello? What? Yeah, this is a live stream. Yep. You who? I'm good. What you got on the topic? Oh, shit.
Please leave your message for 34761.
I always got trolls trying to fuck up the damn live stream. If you call restricted, it will not answer. Period. I ain't fucking with no restricted calls, so.
Hey, Stat.
My bad. Fucking troll, man. I should have knew he was a troll anyway when he called restricted, so. But it's all good. We was talking about communication. Communication is everything we want. That's why I screen these calls with the earpiece. Like, you're not about to get on live and say your fucked up shit, bro. And I'm not gonna let you in, until I know you're a real person talking about it. He tried to come in talking about, is this a live stream? Thanks for taking my call. Then it got quiet, realized he wasn't on live, and then like, oh, I can't say what the fuckery I want to say. So if you don't call and have your number showing, I'm not taking the fuck call for real. Anyway, let's get back to the communications. Number 2 is, like I said, you're not going to be the same person that you was at 26 and you're 36. As you grow as a man or a woman in a relationship, you guys got to grow together. Only way you're going to grow together is you communicate what's going on with one another. Because really, a woman body changes after kids. A man, his sex drive may go down his sex drive may go down in 40s. You know what I'm saying? You never know. So you got to communicate everything that's going on with you, because you guys are a partnership, and that's the only way a partnership will become a team if you gotta communicate. How you feel about communication?
Man, the communication, it has to be there. If the communication is not there when you're dealing with an individual, it's just not going to work out no matter what you do, because one has to send the message, the other has to receive. If you're constantly sending the message and they're not receiving, then basically what you're dealing with is a dead person that's lost that seed. You got to leave them there, because if not, and you let that boat still stay still and lay the anchor, you're going to be stuck right with them. You got to move with somebody who wants to set sail when you need to set sail and all of that.
Yeah, I gotta block this asshole. So anyway, my bad, man. Dude, if you was a real person, you would have came in and said something. All that shit you put in the live stream, nah, we ain't keeping that there, bro. You can't call with a real number, then I'm not taking your call. So yeah, communication is pretty much everything. You got to understand that. But what comes after communication, number 3, is compromise. Only way you're going to compromise, you got to get the communication to compromise. What's the problem? What's the disconnect? Because at the end of the day, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We're not going to get each other all the time. So the compromise has to be, communicated and talked about. How you feel about the compromise in relationships?
I mean, for the people that's in the back, as far as the compromise with the relationships, If there's no compromise in the relationship for either side, then it is not going to work. If that individual is not willing to compromise with you, or they're not willing to, see your side of the story and then analyze their side of the story, and then you both make a decision, which you're going to have to anyway because it's called life. Some people are not even that equally sound. You can say, hey, look, maybe we could try this way. What do you think? And if they just want to argue with you, then it's not going to work. Compromise is a very big thing when it comes down to relationships, marriages, friendships, partnerships, business-wise, etc., that sort of thing. Yeah, it's that deep.
And a lot of times, let's just be real, a lot of times people, let me see, I think this Mo. Hello? What's going on?
What's going on?
Hold on real quick.
How you doing? I love this topic.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I had to screen the call real quick because, we got these trolls call in every week, at least once a week. The devil's working over here trying to stop us from doing what we doing. But,
right. Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, don't let him stop.
Nah, we ain't gonna let them stop. So we was talking about the 7 C's in a committed relationship. The first one was cooperation. Communication was number 2. Number 3 was compromise. We're sitting on compromise right now. How you what Mike was going, go ahead, Mike. Say what you mean about the compromise, the problem.
Oh, with compromise with the issue. If you got an individual that's not willing to compromise, then it's not going to work.
For real. You gotta compromise in any type of relationship to understand the point of the man point of view, the woman point of view. And, at the end of the day, you gotta water your grass. You can't, grass ain't green on the other side most of the time. It may seem like a lot of options out there on these social media networks, on these dating apps and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you build something with a man or a woman, really just water your own grass before you say, walk away from it. You know what I mean? So compromise is a big thing because, you'll rather know about your problems in your relationship and walk out of your relationship and walk into some other shit that you don't even want to know about. So how you feel about compromise, Mo?
Compromise is fine, but I want to ask y'all, so how much should you compromise before it's just, what if it's not well received? Like, you're willing to, I'm very flexible. If I'm in a relationship, I'm the most flexible person. And I have run into stubborn, I'm like, I'm not stubborn. Why are they stubborn? So I'm compromising. Can it be compromised on both sides? So that's how much should you compromise before you just feel like, well, I got to give up because you're not compromising too.
Well, that brings me to the number 4 point is if the compromise is not working, number 4 is you need counseling. That's number 4 on the 7 C's is counseling. Because the compromise don't work out, you got to get counseling. Even before the compromise don't even work out, you should have marriage counseling, couples counseling period to understand what you want. Because sometimes people need referee when they communicate, so people don't get triggered. And if you do get triggered, at least somebody there to calm the situation down. So counseling is key after the compromise or before the compromise is to be proactive in your relationship. You want to be in relationships that are proactive, not reactive. That's the only way you will grow with a person is be proactive about your love for a person or proactive about what you need from a person to give a person peace. So how you feel about the counseling part, Mo?
I think counseling is great. If you can't work it out between those two people in the relationship, the counselor can be objective and they can give you ideas to improve your relationship, give you tips and tools to use, because what you did, if you got to that point of counseling, it may not work. I'm sorry, I got to mute because I have all this noise in the background, but yeah, I think counseling is great.
Okay. What about you, Mike, on the counseling?
Man, I think counseling is a wonderful thing, just as long as the person is unbiased. You know, they have to be unbiased and think with a clear head as to what they're going to be responding to. Because I'm going to say it like this. I had this one couple when I was going back and forth to court for my son. And I just saw this couple arguing. I mean, they were going at each other, like trying to fucking tear each other apart. And I said, hey, look, what's more important? Both of y'all arguments or, you know, your child? You know what I'm saying? You got to think. Okay, how could I be the bigger person, and how could I see the bigger picture as me and her as far as that being a team? And you got some people that don't see that shit that way, and they want to do what they want. So when they want to do what they want, and you know that shit ain't working out, and you try to have some kind of counseling and some kind of unbiasedness towards that, then, you know, it's time to move on. It's time to move forward and just be on the main focus of what you really have to do, because no matter what you do or say, this person's not going to listen to you. And that's a sign of some serious narcissistic activity. Narcissism. Some deep shit. For real.
So, yeah, my sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law told me, what stuck with me. She told me, don't be the one that causes the breakup or the divorce. You do everything in your power to keep it right. Do everything you can do to keep it right. And if it don't work out, then you can walk away saying I did my best. So I took that, you know, I don't even have no, you know, I do look back to see what, you know, think about what could have been different, but that's more what could have been different if we would have came together. But on my part, I feel like I did everything possible when I was married. So at the end of the day, you know, I don't feel bad about it. And that's what anybody, like, you got to do everything that's possible. Like you was asking Mo about, was it a point of no return? But you have to do everything that's possible for you, because you, especially if you're married, if you say the vows to death do you part or whatever it is, you got to do everything in your power to make sure that you held up your end. And if that person didn't hold up their end, then it is what it is. How you feel about that, Mo?
You know,
I'm about, go ahead, Mike.
I'm gonna say this. At least after that, at least you could walk away with a clear conscience, knowing that you did what you had to do. Period.
Facts.
That's true, because sometimes it feels like you are. Can you just imagine when you talk to a wall? What are you gonna get back? It's like bumping into a wall or trying to get something from a wall. The most you could get from a wall is if you hit it with a hammer or something. You know, it's nothing. You can't get anything. No feedback. No compromise. No act right, as they say. So.
Facts. All right. So number 5 on my list of the 7 C's for a committed relationship is competition. And this might sound crazy, cliche, but at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship, the only competition you want with your partner is who's going to make who happy. Be a pleaser, not a person that make the relationship hard. Be a person that don't stop dating each other. Because a lot of times people get complacent in relationships and they's like, oh, I got the ring, I got the girl, don't go to the gym, don't do this, don't do that. Realize that as a man, guys want your woman, and as a woman, women want your man. So make sure you keep yourself up as a man. She keep herself as a woman. Y'all still be chasing each other at some point, that y'all chasing each other's happiness for each other. So if you like, I'm gonna surprise him today, then the competition is gonna stay stiff of trying to continue to have fun and love for each other. Don't never think that just because you're my wife or my girlfriend or my fiance that it's over. Always have competition to compete to make each other happy. That's what I feel about number 5. How y'all feel about competition in a relationship? I'll go with Mike.
I mean, go ahead, Mo.
Oh, just quick. I love that, and that's cute. And also, do you have one about being comfortable? Like you just said, don't get complacent and too comfortable. Like you said, oh. And I've seen that on the woman's side too. When I got him now, I have to do my hair and go to the gym and definitely, like they said, what you did to get him, what you did to get them, you got to do to keep them. So if you did your hair and you had your workout on, you cooked in the beginning, made love frequently, keep doing that and keep doing the dates and keeping it cute.
Because at the end of the day, I don't care if you with somebody or before you get with somebody, you're going to be working on yourself to make sure you're a good catch, man or woman. And then even when you're going out on a date or you're doing things for that man to remember you or that woman to remember you. Period. A lot of times people don't want to admit to that, but at the end of the day, you do things for you to be a person that a person don't forget about. What you got, Mike? About competition?
And I think that competition between couples, as long as it's positively constructed, there shouldn't be a problem, because then that makes the dream come more to life. When you got one side that's competing, they say, hey, man, I got to compete with this person. I don't have to necessarily be better than them, but let me show them that I'm going to do whatever it takes in my power to keep this relationship goal thing alive and help it flourish. Nowadays, when I see people in relationships, all I see is them competing over fuckery. Like, oh yeah, let me go ahead, let me do this, let me go shopping and all this other shit.
Oh yeah.
That's not helping the relationship.
Oh, you went out with your boys last week. I'm going out with my girls this week.
Yeah,
stupid
competing
shit.
Negatively.
Facts.
Yeah, that shit doesn't work.
As you mentioned that reminds me, make it a healthy competition, not something where it's not a tit for tat thing, but competing, like who can, on a love level, not a hate negative level.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. A love level, period. All right, moving on to number 6, consistency. Now, consistency in a relationship, I would say this far more on the man than the woman, because I said the cooperation part was was more of a woman need to be cooperative, but its consistency is the man, because the man drew a woman in, but now you gotta be consistent about leading in a relationship. As a man, you should be know how to lead in dating, lead in loving her, lead in being a leader, being the head, and she's the neck. So your consistency is very important as a man, is to be consistent of the foundation that you build with your woman. But at the end of the day, if you're the head of the household, you got to be consistent so she can follow your leadership. And if you're not consistent and she has nothing to follow to lead, then she's going to lead your ass. How you feel about that, Mike?
I mean, if a man is not consistent, depending on what she's really into, the consistency, if it's not there, this individual, whoever you're dealing with, will lose a serious amount of interest, because they don't see that the same thing that they came into that relationship with, and that's willing to be kept. I've seen some women that I had to end up leaving after I seen them fall off, after I saw what I didn't see. But I made sure I let them know, hey, what's going on? And once I didn't really see a change, I just ended the relationship. I didn't fuck around on them, but I ended it because I didn't like what I saw. And hopefully if they saw me leave, that, they would try to change a couple of things, and things didn't change. So I had to make peace with myself and gracefully bow out.
Facts. How you feel about consistency, Mo?
Consistency is important. Sorry for that delay. But yes, that's very important. And that's all across your life. Like you said in the other one, you were doing that anyway before you got into the relationship. So keep the consistency in your relationship as well, just like you're consistent in your other routine in life, in other areas of your life.
Facts. So the last 7, the last C is going to be content. To me, content is the icing on the cake. We talked about cooperation, communication, compromise, counseling, competition, consistency. Content is going to bring it all the way home, because if you're content with the person you're with, that's the end all be all. You're not going to allow some social media or any type of energy that's outside of your relationship to destroy your relationship. When you content as a person and content as a couple, then it's all about you and her. And whatever playbook y'all have to make sure y'all relationship work for the long haul is because you guys are content with each other. You realize that I'm not gonna be the best looking man for her, or I'm not gonna be the best looking woman for him, but you realize I'm content of who I have. A lot of times people are so greedy, then they get content when they hit the wall or past a certain age because they realize that everything glitter ain't gold. It's a new group of men turning 18 every year. It's a new group of 21-year-old women. It's a new model every year. So you have to understand as a man and a woman what works for me and what's going to complement me, not complicate me. Because at the end of the day, if you don't get to hold on your appetite for the opposite sex, you got to be content with yourself before you love anybody else. And then actually you got to be content of the values this woman brings or this man bring to realize that I'm not a bobblehead. My head ain't going this way and that way when I'm trying to be out in public with my man or my woman. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not picking up the gram looking like I can do better with this guy or that guy. It's just a pipe dream. If a person hitting all these 7 points and they consistent with it and everything, and it's bring you peace, then why not be content? So how you feel about that? Because it's lack of contentness in this world today. How you feel about that, Mike?
Man, the shit is serious. Like, if an individual is lacking contentment of what it is that they're supposed to be doing, and it's not consistent with what they're trying to do, then fuck them. Honestly, I say fuck them. If they want to go ahead and go ahead off a hope and a dream rather than just face the facts, I leave them be. I don't even deal with those kind of people. When I see those people dreaming, like what it could be like, it's not as I gotten older and I start to see that shit. If you're dealing with a person, I had this one chick that I was talking to, and she didn't have a car. At that time, I was giving her a chance, but at the same time, I wasn't dealing with reality. I wasn't dealing with an individual that was equally yoked as me. So every time I had to come out there to her, which is like an hour and a half away from where I lived at, her consistency was, oh, look, I got my hair and nails did. Okay, that's fine, but when are you going to get a fucking car? You're working all this overtime. When are you going to get a car? Because I'm tired of tearing my shit up. Because I want to see her. So after seeing the reality of what it was, she thought that I was like trying to downplay her. But what she didn't realize from me, I was actually giving her hints until I just started being straight up front. Then after a while, I just stopped dealing with her because she wasn't being consistent. If you want her all day and you're content with bumming rides and, you know, this, that, and the third, and you're really not trying to do nothing for yourself, even though you're working, that's not being content with me and what I got going on. Facts. And then after a while, you got to leave those kind of people alone because once they're that settled, you'll be settled right with them and you'll fuck up your shit in the process. And that's not something that you want to do. Especially after they hit the wall. You let them keep hitting the wall, you keep climbing over that fucking wall, or just use the door on the other side and let them keep hitting that shit head first.
For real. How you feel about being content, Mo, in a relationship?
That's the perfect icing on the cake to me because I had a situation, long story short, the guy wanted to look elsewhere, found out that was well, he thought the grass was greener, but it wasn't. He needed to, what did you say, water your own grass? He needed to water his own grass. He wanted to circle back because he wanted to be content with me after he saw the grass wasn't green. But at that point, it's too late. So definitely be content right there where you are.
Yeah, because that's important. When you find contentment in yourself, you will understand what's going to complement you for the opposite sex, not complicate you. And when you understand that contentment for yourself and find a complementary person that's the opposite sex, then it's no you supposed to have tunnel vision on that relationship. Period. That comes with growth within yourself. That comes with maturity. But you know, this right here is stopping our maturity. It's stopping our growth. It's like I could pick this up and find something better. But at the end of the day, it's no. Is it 1 like or 1,000 likes? At the end of the day, 1 like is the 1 like you need more than 1,000 likes. A lot of times people don't understand that. They feel like I need all this and all that. You only could live in one room at one time. You can only be in one space at one time. A lot of times people don't realize that all these things are you're consuming and consuming yourself with has a price. It has a price. Worldly and keeping up with the Joneses, that shit has a price. And not being content of who you are as a person, knowing your lane, knowing your foundation, knowing what you stand for. Because if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So basically be content. That's why I want to say I'm closing on that one. To go over the 7 C's one more time is the first one is what was it? Cooperation, my bad. Communication, compromise, counseling, competition, consistency, and content. If you study these and put these in your relationship, you will have a successful relationship. But if you're struggling with one of these, go get that counseling, go get that help. So y'all want to say anything on that one before we move on to the next video that I want to cover?
Yeah, I want to say one last thing about that content. I would say it's just like with that troll, the guy you said they're trying to break up the nice live stream. To me, that's like a distraction. When you're on your way to trying to be content and you see all these, oh, look at that on Instagram. Oh, maybe I want to pursue that. Maybe I want to DM her. But yeah, it's nothing but a distraction. Enjoy what's right in front of you before you lose that and find out that what's over there is garbage.
Facts. You gotta enjoy what's right in front of you, and knowing that this is something that's gonna complement me, not complicate me. And once you find that, then you find everything. Especially if you're attracted to that person too. If you already got the they passed the eye test, they passed the spiritual test, they passed the communication test. Then after that, it's just work. It's not gonna be every day gonna be good. You're gonna have some bad days, but you gotta communicate that to keep it going, because you would rather work hard to be with the person you're with that actually compliments you, but then you, instead of being by yourself, then some people cool by themselves, but at the end of the day, you'd rather put in that work with the person that actually compliments you as a person, that actually know you as a person. So that's a lot right there. You got anything to say about that one, Mike? That 7 C's?
Nah, not really. The same old shit, same old song. All I have to say is house music all night long.
Okay.
For real.
All right. So
Hey, what?
the next video I want to talk about that I did was the 10 things I desire in a woman. And since we got Mo on the channel tonight, we can actually talk about what she desires in a man. The call lines are still open, guys. So, and if you're on the other stream, go to Stack 44 on YouTube, join the conversation. The number is in the chat or in the title. You can call in and join the conversation. But the 10 things I desire in a woman. The first thing I started off with, and we'll just talk about this as we go along. First thing I started about was, is she God-fearing? If she's a God-fearing woman, at the end of the day, if you're a man that, leads with God, you want a woman that understands God as well, because she understands the natural order. She understands her role as a helpmeet to complement you, not complicate you, be your piece to your pillow. All the things I've been saying on the last couple, things that we went over. So how you feel about that, Mike? I know you kind of already same place where I'm in, but is that the first thing you look for, Mike, in a woman? Is God-fearing?
Absolutely. Because if she doesn't believe in God, she has no place in my world. Believe it or not, because of the fact that, in order for a woman, when she's God-fearing, she knows her place as a woman. She takes care of her tasks as a woman. She knows the consequences not to go against a good God-fearing man who's also fearing of God as well. So with being that they have respect for God, they're more than likely going to have respect for that relationship between one another going before God. Because now they know, okay, look, I believe in God. This individual believes in God. I'm not saying they could do no wrong, but they'll have respect for God. And when they have respect for God and they follow along that path, they're going to have respect for me. And that's what they do. When the ones that don't believe in God, they're going to be doing everything out the willy-nilly because they're already lost. And that's not the person you want to be with. You want to be with a person who has respect for a relationship, who's also God-fearing, and has respect for God. When you got respect for God, everything else that's trying to get in the way will fall like a heap of dry leaves, and they'll clear a path because he always comes through. He prevails every time. When you have a person that's God-fearing, you're gonna go on that nice path with the least amount of bumps, man. For real shit.
Facts. I want to add one more thing before you jump in, Mo. Another thing is when a woman follows a man of God, she sees that a man that's on his mission, and when a man's on his mission with God and a mission on his purpose, it's automatically a woman sees that and falls into her feminine state and gives submission to a man that's on his mission. So that's what I want to say before Mo started. Go ahead, Mo. How you feel about that? Is that good? That that's the first thing I see for a woman. So is just something that you would want in a man?
Yes, that's interesting that you just added that last part too, because that's the first thing I thought. That if he is God-fearing, and I feel like I can follow him. He's following God. I'm following God, and I can follow my man. He could be my leader. He knows God is our leader. And also, real quick, I had a situation where we were going to have a relationship, and that was the deal breaker. I was in church. Well, not saying you have to be in church to have a relationship with God, but he just said, well, I can't even deal with somebody that. So that's right there. That's it. Because it's, like you say, see the back of the shoes, man. So that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. So number 2 is it's close to the last list I did with the 10 commandments of dating, but number 2 is attraction must match. I'm not sitting here saying you gotta be the drop dead gorgeous woman, but when we walk in the room together, we need to walk in the room together. I don't want to stand out more than my woman, so our attractions must match. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the attraction must match. For me to want you, just like you might want me, the attraction level must be on the same brand that we match each other. So how you feel about that, Mike?
Man, that's real deep. That's real deep right there. You always want to make sure that y'all work as a pair, dress as a pair. You know what I'm saying? Y'all operate as that pair, because being in a relationship, a respectable one, you're gonna have that bond. When you have that bond, you could be a movement by yourself, but you could be a force to be reckoned with when you're together. Right. And the shit is on point. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But it's real shit.
How you feel about that, Mo? Do attraction has to match for you for number 2 on what you would desire in a man?
Agreed. Yes. Attraction is important to me. But yeah, you mean physically or just all together overall?
I mean, we're visual. So me, when I say attraction must match, I must look at a woman and be like, okay, she could be my woman. Women, y'all probably don't look at it like that. Y'all probably look at a guy like he's okay, he's clean cut, he's all right, he's not the best I ever seen, but let me get to know him. We don't think like that, man. We think about shit. She fine. That could be wifey. That's how we think. Because at the end of the day, man, we're going to put a woman in the category from the first 10 seconds of seeing. So you got to be honest with that. That's what men do.
I would say for me, attraction is important, but I definitely need some other things to go along with it.
Yeah, I was banking on women. You're going to be different than what we think. So that's good.
No, because real quick, it was one time in my life that I did, but it got dead real quick because I was thinking, he's so, like you just said, if he's so fat, he could be husband. But that's totally different. I'm not marrying him, he's marrying me. But you know what I mean by that, right?
So
I don't.
Yeah, because men are the gatekeepers of marriage, women are the gatekeepers of sex. So, man, we already got these things in our mind when we, like I said, we see a woman, like, damn, there go wifey right there, because she could be wifey. And then at the end of the day, the downside, the dark side of it, we see a woman, we're like, damn, I just want to hit that a couple times. That's it. You know, that's unfortunately that's how men think. Either they want to hit and quit or they want to wife it. One or the other. It's no if, ands, but I mean, I guess as a third, they won't even deal with it. But if they're attracted, either two ways they think: if she's wifey material, or she's pump and dump material, or just a fun time. That's it.
But but just overall, yes, I think attraction should match. And I would, if I had control over it, I would definitely say yes. I would love to be his wifey, because I can't. I'm not going to be that one that proposes to him, but I would say yes. I would love to be his wife. Okay,
that's cool. I mean, and then number 3 is great communicator. A person. I feel like for me, a great communicator for a woman is a woman that's gonna tell me things when everything's right. Not tell me everything when things are going wrong. Tell me things. Tell me how to love you, just like your boy Music Soul Child said. If I'm gonna surrender my heart, teach me how to love you. The only way you can teach a person how to love you is to tell them how you feel, what what your fears are, what your weaknesses are. Trust a person with your heart is a big key, but at the same time, the communication has to come along with the trust. How you feel about that, Mo? I'm gonna start with Mo this time, Mike.
Communication.
Yeah, great communicator. So is that up on your list? She breaking up a little bit. You breaking up a little.
Oh, I'm breaking up. Sorry, but that's big for me. Communication. That's one of mine.
Is communication above attraction for you?
Well, I want to be attracted, but along with the attraction, once we get to know each other, I definitely want that communication is right up there. That's like top tier. Right after we find that we're attracted to each other, I want us to keep that communication strong.
I mean, subconsciously, men do this. If you meet a woman that's a 8 and another woman that's a 6, and the woman with the 6 is a greater communicator, greater outgoing person, and the one that's an 8 is a lack of communicator, she just look good, man eventually be like, fuck that 8, I'm fucking with the 6. Ain't that right, Mike?
Hell yeah. I mean, I'll fucking definitely talk to an individual, like, you know what I'm saying, that if she's a 6 and I got more, how should I say, more going on with her than I do with the 8. The 8, she's only there for looks, and that's only momentary satisfaction, you know what I'm saying, to look at her up and down. Eventually, the goal is you want to be with an individual that's equally as yoked as you. I'm not saying, I would date a crazy ass ugly chick. That's not my goal. My goal is to get with somebody who's evenly as yoked as me. And, a lot of times you have to look aside from looks, because looks ain't everything.
Right.
Looks always fade when they hit the wall.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying now.
Facts. That's why I desire a great communicator. Anything you want to add on communication more, you good?
Well, one thing I wanted to know real quick is, when you say hit the wall, what's the brief? What do you mean hit the wall?
Man.
Should I go first, Pat?
Go on. I'll let Mike explain the wall for the people in the back.
Okay, Mo. What I mean by the wall is, not to get sexist or anything like that, but in a woman's lifetime, she has a peak timeline from when she first starts growing up, gets up puberty, goes past puberty and everything like that. She has a certain amount of time to get all her shit in order, to make sure that she can find that perfect guy that's just right for her. Now, as with hypergamy, when they go bouncing around from guy to guy to guy to guy to guy to guy, there's a certain point of time when a woman's sexual peak, her prowess, is at its highest point. And as she gets older, it starts to diminish. If she keeps up with herself, physically, mentally, emotionally, she can lessen the time that it takes for that sexual peak of attraction, as far as her looks and everything like that, will slowly begin to diminish, but only if she's worked on herself. But eventually, a woman will always hit the wall, period. There's no stopping it. The wall is undefeated. I'm sure you've seen it with movie stars. They look real good in the movies, and then when they get older, shit, you be like, yo, what the fuck happened? Is this person really that individual, or did somebody, swap them out with a degenerized clone? To where they get the wrinkles, overly excessive makeup, all kinds of shit where they try to hide it, but they can't hide it because the wall is undefeated. Yeah. Now, with a man's sexual market value, his sexual market value starts at a later date. Yeah. It starts at a later date. So if he's worked on himself up until the point where he gets maturity, as he gets older, he's supposed to get better. When he gets past that point, like 30, like from 25 on, if he works on himself, his sexual market value will begin to go up dramatically. As long as he's kept up with himself, he handles what he has to handle, and most of all, he stays in the gym. If you notice, a lot of women that haven't stayed in the gym or haven't even gone there, they'll start to become very overweight, eating the wrong foods, wondering why they got all kinds of problems, going to the doctor, and they can't hold themselves together. She starts to fall apart like Mrs. Potato Head. It starts to look like Mrs. Potato Head too, all chubby at the bottom, or maybe looking like a fucking linebacker because she didn't keep up with her sexual market value. She has to keep up with her sexual market value because with hitting the wall, it stops. It completely stops. Men ain't gonna no longer be as interested, or you're not going to be as eye-catching to them. They're not going to really want to deal with you. So if you haven't seen this, a lot of women, if you haven't noticed, that they hit the wall, you notice they don't look like the way how they used to. They don't eat the way how they used to. Their sexual market value is gone to the shitter. I mean, it's completely gone. So they'll go and they'll try to settle for somebody that's less than them, even though they may have been top-notch, had the beautiful chest, breasts, butt out there, nice thick legs and everything. Now she starts to look like worn-out cottage cheese. That's the wall. Because she had a certain timeline to get all her shit together before she begins to settle in, before she starts to grow old with whoever she's supposed to be dealing with. But a lot of women take that for granted, and they wonder why they can't find a good man, because back then in their younger years, they was doing a lot of partying, doing a lot of drugs, instead of eating healthy, hitting the gym, and keeping themselves in shape to find that right man to say, hey, look, I'm still in shape, even though I may be old. I managed to slow down the time rate of me hitting the wall. But when they hit the wall, it's too late. There's no going back. There's nothing that they can really do. They're old. They're useless. They can't do anything. So that's the wall. Just giving it to you a brief down the line shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the wall is more. It's more about, like, if you think about a man, the most sexiest man alive, they always is probably 30s or 30 plus, almost to 50. I mean, they ain't put George Clooney on that shit. The Rock.
Like Clint Eastwood.
They always put guys that's basically very older on saying that the sexy man alive, compared to a woman being, the most sexy woman is going to be under 30. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people don't understand the wall, because women fertility stops at 35. So they stop having kids. And then when they do have kids in their 30s, it's hard for them to lose their weight. So a lot of times people don't understand the wall, because women don't understand the wall because they too busy occupied by, feeling like they got options and stuff like that. That's why I always say don't mess up your pair bonding years, because the wall is undefeated. If you got your career and all that, and you start dating at 27, and not, as you're 35 and they had no kids, and you should be panicking as a woman, because it's going to be tough on childbearing years and stuff like that. So, and a lot of times when men are 35 and a woman's 35, the man is dating down, the woman is trying to date up or date the same. So a lot of times guys rather go get a younger woman with less life experience and less baggage, period. I'm trying to find this picture that I don't know if y'all remember Top Gun when Tom Cruise was in it, and then I forgot the lady name, but it's not wasn't her, Nicole Kidman.
No, it was
here we go.
Beginners or something like that.
Yeah. So look, if y'all see this picture, it shows the difference. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it shows the difference between the years of how she looked and then how he looked. That's how she looked in 2018, and that's how he looked in 2018. He looked like he don't look no different than we looked in 1986. And look at her; she looked old and worn out and all that. So
I'm looking worn out higher.
So that is the thing about the wall is undefeated because a lot of times men could hold on to their looks a little bit longer, well, a lot longer than women most of the time. And that's why unfortunately, that's why a lot of guys, when they get to a certain age, they be like, oh, I can date down. Like, I still have 20-year-old women approaching me and I'm be 40 in July. So now older I get, I see the trueness of it. Even since I've been single post-marriage, the age range have varied. But at the same time, it's the only thing that disconnect with young women, they don't see. They just, to me, they're more fun because an older woman can actually intellect and have a longer conversation and stuff like that. It depends where you at in life, but I don't knock young women, but I turn that vibration of what they think compared to what I think is totally two different things. I'm talking about stock market and investing money and home ownership. They talking about hitting the club and hookah. So it's all over the place. So that's the one.
The thing with that, it backfires too. When they too busy talking about that and they're not investing on the things that count, it backfires on them, and that's when they hit the wall hard.
Facts.
That's right.
Facts. All right. So another thing, number 4, after we talk about great communicator, is a proactive thinker. I want a woman that's going to be a proactive thinker, somebody that's going to be proactive about everything. I don't want a reactive relationship. My ex-wife was very reactive. She would panic when things happen instead of looking forward for things to happen and be ready for it when it came along. So for me, I need a proactive thinker, somebody that realizes that some days ain't going to be, some days ain't going to be great. Some days going to go bad, but be proactive about thinking ahead and being prepared for the situations they may come up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a guy riding around in a car without a spare. You got to have a spare. You got to have a donut. You got to have something. You got to have a jack. Be proactive about your life. Have some jumper cables. Be proactive because sometimes you got to have a bag up on top of the bag up. So how y'all feel about being a proactive thinker? Is that important for you, Mo? For a man, I'm going to start with Mo.
Yes, that's important. That's something I think about a lot. And not just for relationships, but just everybody. Well, again, said worry about you versus you. But yes, proactive is vital.
What you think about proactive thinkers, Mike?
Man, I'm thinking if a woman is a proactive thinker, like a woman that I'm talking to right now, she's very proactive. For things that you want generally when you're in a relationship with someone, you want to be with somebody who has the ability to spot the bullshit out and show you the same way when you're in a respectable relationship or partnership with them, so that way you can show them and y'all show each other different things. Because that's what it means being part of a team. When you have that person that's proactive instead of reactive, you want a person that's like, okay, you see that shit right there? Yeah, that shit right there. Yo, watch out for that shit right there. Yeah, look, I'm going to tell you, oh, really? It's right there? All right, cool. I'm going to go around this way. You hit them that way. Then that way, when y'all hit them from both sides, anything that crosses your path that might be a problem, you can easily find a solution, and that makes everything all the more worthwhile when you got somebody like that that's on your team.
Facts. Proactive thinker, please. Yeah, you gotta understand that for real. All right, the next thing is on top of being a proactive thinker, this kind of go hand in hand for me is a spontaneous lover. And for me, what I mean by that, if you're a spontaneous lover, that is a heartbeat. Sex is a heartbeat relationship. So if you're a spontaneous lover and, you just come surprise me and, I might be playing a game or something. You might come in and just start rubbing on the brother or something, pull his stuff down, whatever. But that counts for a brother. You might be on a road trip. She might be like, hey, you might, anything, what I'm saying? Spontaneous love will go a long way for a man because we do care about peace, respect, food, and sex. So if you're spontaneous with your loving to show that I'm the one, because there's nothing like knowing that you've been needed by a woman for a man. It goes a long way. A lot of times women don't understand that superpowers is between their head and their legs. If they understand how to get a man by being spontaneous with loving them, it goes a long way. So how you feel about that? I'm gonna start with Mike on this one.
Come back to me. I'm over here doing something on my
All right, Mo, what you got on spontaneous lover?
That's vital too. Communication, spontaneity in the bedroom, or not necessarily in the bedroom, but like you said, loving, spontaneous loving, communication. That's right up. That's all at the top for me.
So, but being spontaneous, is that something you like? If you just come in the house, your man come in the house, and next thing you know, he's just all over you. You in the kitchen or something. I mean, is that cool? Is that something that you gonna remember, or you don't like spontaneous lover?
Yeah. So if I'm cooking and then all of a sudden you in there, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna remember that. Like, man, I thought it's just regular meatloaf, but
you got some other meat. Shit. I don't know if Mike ready, but yeah, spontaneous lover is definitely something that you want to keep the excitement in your relationship, because if you start doing something, really spontaneous lover starts in honeymoon stage and it keeps going. Because when a man could compare your spontaneous ways to his lifestyle before you, if it don't match, he definitely gonna be locked in on your spontaneous love for him. Nobody wants the same old. Oh, I know we about to do it tonight, or whatever. Be very spontaneous about how you treat your man. That's how I feel. That's what I want. Spontaneous lover, somebody that just gonna, say if I'm dating, I might open the door. She might have a raincoat on with some with the lingerie on underneath it. You know what I mean? Or vice versa, because I didn't pretend like I was going to the hotel to see a friend from in town and took my girl with him. We go up to the room and shit, and like, oh, he gave me the key, say be right back. Earlier, I seen him earlier, and to go in that room and it's rose petals and shit all over that motherfucker. So, you gotta be spontaneous about keeping it fresh in the relationship. How you feel about that, Mike? If you back?
I'm back, bro. I'm back. But yeah, it definitely helps to be spontaneous or have a person that's spontaneous, because now you would never even see them, giving you that kind of that kind of prize or that kind of surprise that you would never even expect. And as long as it's on a good note, that makes the whole success of remembering the times that you had with that individual when it's positive. You know what I'm saying? When it's positive and that they're spontaneous, so you're like, hey, this is something new. I could get used to this. Or maybe switch it up a little bit and not just have the same old normal thing all the time. Once in a while, a treat does help.
For real. That's facts.
You know what else?
You said
what?
You
know what else? There's also a bonus to that C list, and with the spontaneity, that spontaneity also means that you're confident. Like, you're not just, okay, babe.
For real.
Friday? Sure. All right. I mean, you're confident knowing that this is going to turn him on, or this is going to turn her on. It's a comfort level in your relationship, and it's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's spontaneous, and it show ownership that this my man, this my woman. I'm about to take this shit for real. It show ownership. I'll tell you that though. All right, number 6 is fitness and appearance. That's for me. This is my list, so I don't know where y'all put y'all shit at. But fitness and appearance, it could go a different way. Like I said before, I ain't gonna talk to nobody I'm not attracted to. And I want them to keep their fitness and their appearance up. It goes a long way. It shows that you have value for yourself. It shows a lot of things. So how you feel about fitness and appearance, Mike?
Man, fitness and appearance, it goes a really, really long way because you're more concerned about your health, the way how you conduct, your health mentally, physically, emotionally. And, when you keep up with yourself, you feel better about yourself. You don't necessarily have to dress all flashy, but you're not feeling all down and dressing like shit. If you're dressing proper and you feel good, you're breathing in that nice toxic ass air, at least you can say, hey, at least I tried to keep up with my body. And when you're hitting the gym, it shows, you feel with more energy. You got, more of a boost than just being like a lump on the log or sitting on the couch waiting to die and shit. But when you got that extra energy, you feel like, yo, I could do anything I want. And at the same time, your sexual market value goes to the roof. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're doing that by taking care of your body, you look better, you feel better, and your body will thank you for it. Not a lot of people take care of their bodies, man. And that's all over, mentally, physically, and emotionally. But hitting that gym is definitely a must. And also meditating, because the body can't live without the mind. If you exercise your mind, you'll have more patience with the bullshit that's going on today and how to handle it.
How you feel about the fitness and the appearance, Mo?
Exactly. Just what he said. I was going to say that I believe in fitness, and also it goes hand in hand with, like you said, with the mind, because once your body feels good, because if you, like you said, sitting on the couch waiting to die, that's also a mental thing. It's something in your mind telling you, okay, well, I'll just sit on the couch and have this pot belly forever. Who cares?
Yeah, you gotta.
It affects your mental a lot.
Yeah, you gotta be active. You gotta be proactive. Your appearance, your what I want to say, your appearance is everything. Your what I'm gonna say, your representation for yourself is very important. Your presentation, you gotta be always ready. Like as a man, I clean my bed. I make my bed every morning. So representation is always good, and the integrity to do it was not even when people are watching is very important. So definitely the gym moments or the look y'all see with my arm being big and all this extra. That comes when y'all ain't even knowing, y'all probably be asleep when I'm out here working out doing this, but I'm doing it for me, not for y'all. But at the same time, I get the fruits of everybody else, applauding my look because I put the work in for myself. So it go hand in hand. You put in the work for yourself, then you get the comments from other people. It's not being arrogant, it's just being honest. You know what I'm saying? So that's my number 6. Number 7 is clean and organized. I can't stress how my grandmother used to tell me, if you want to know something about a woman, when you first meet them, ask to go to their bathroom. If their bathroom nasty, they show you how to take care of themselves. So, so at the end of the day, clean and organized is very important for me. That's a deal breaker for me dealing with a woman. I'm a neat freak as a man, and I expect a woman to have, she ain't got to be as clean as me, but she got to be at least clean. My ex-wife wasn't as clean as me with shit, but at the same time, I accepted that, and if things wasn't the way I wanted them to be, I went behind her and did it myself. But she wasn't nasty, so that still was, good. So, but being organized is very important as well, because if you have organization in your life, then it shows with your mental, your physical, and everything else. So organized and clean is very important because it shows that you're working to the end to be successful in something. So how you feel about that, Mo?
And clean and organized is important.
That's it? It's important? That's all?
I was trying to.
I'm like, damn.
Yes, being clean and organized is important because that's too. If you have an empty house, if you have a person that has anxiety, but that's another topic. But definitely be clean and organized, and especially, for yourself too. If you have a partner, you don't want. How comfortable is that? If you have a partner and they're always telling you, "Dang," let's say you just came in from the gym and you see mess everywhere. That's not a good look.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, when a person ain't clean and organized, it fucks with your peace. If you bring a person in and you're clean and organized already, and she come in and just be throwing shit everywhere, I'll be like, damn, I could do this shit by myself. Fuck this. That's how I look at it. How you feel about the clean and organized, Mike?
Being clean and organized, it basically puts you in that routine of, you know what I'm saying, being clean and organized. You handling all your shit without having any kind of serious issues. Like, one time, let me tell you, we put you on another story. There was this older woman that I was checking on and shit. You know what I'm saying? We was talking and shit, vibing and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, cool. How many kids you got? She's like, I got 2 or whatever. So I said, hey, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So then she invited me over her house or whatever because I was supposed to look at working on her car. I went inside her house. She said, as soon as I stepped in, she said, I haven't got around to cleaning it up. I got inside there. I said, yo, what the fuck is this? I'm seeing boxes everywhere, kids' toys and shit. And I'm just like, yo, look, man, I'm going to have to wait for you outside. Where's your best? Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to go across the street. I'm going to go piss in the bushes. I do not like being around shit like that. Like, that shit right there only makes me believe one thing, that your mind is fucked up. If you, like Stack said, if you really want to see how a person is living, you could go into the trunk of that car. Tell them to pop the trunk. If you see a whole bunch of shit back there that ain't got no business being back there or has been back there for a long time, that's just been another storage section in their brain. They got a whole bunch of shit everywhere. It looks nice on the outside, and this chick was drop dead gorgeous. But inside her house was fucked up. Inside her cars was fucked up. Like, her car was so fucked up on the inside, man. If it ever did come down to a time, if my shit broke down and I needed to ride, and she was the only one that was available, I would fucking rather walk home or crawl than get in that fucking car.
Damn.
So being clean and organized is deep. It's deep. It's not only showing how you carry yourself, but it also shows what kind of shit is going on in your head. If you're stable or not. Motherfuckers that got the dirty cars and shit on the inside, you see all kinds of shit that you don't even know about. You don't need to be there. You need to get gone. Period.
That's crazy.
And that's weird that you take, as you said, she dropped that gorgeous story. I'm assuming she had nice hair, makeup, and clothes. How is it you take time to get your hair, makeup, and body, but you don't want to fix your car and your place? You're going to have people in your car, you're going to have people in your place, right?
I don't know, but, that's something that she's going to have to have a conversation with deeply before God, man. I know I couldn't deal with that shit. I'm like, yo, she look good. Spot is all fucked up. I'm out of here, man.
But at the end of the day, what they say, cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yep.
So you got to be clean. So if you show me a woman's bathroom and it's not clean, it's gonna show me her. It's gonna show me her production. Be honest, her production. If her bathroom's not clean and it's all fucked up, and she know a man coming over, that's one thing. But I just cleaned my bathroom today, and and I clean it more once or twice because I got a shower. I got a glass shower, so I got to at least clean it at least twice a week or maybe once a week. Every weekend I try to clean my shower. But the toilet, that thing need to be cleaned every 2-3 days. But that's a different story for a different topic. But you definitely need to be clean when you're a man or a woman. When you come to, especially just come, period. You're supposed to come clean, equipped, organized. And organization is another thing. Organization helps you with, Organization helps you with your budget, your planning, and you can't find no contentment in your life until you're organized. So that's another thing that's a key. Because if you're not organized as a woman, then I'm going to feel like as a man that you're never going to have a cap to know how you to be content and happy. There's a lot of people that run around talking about they want this, they want that, they want to be married. They just want the wedding. They don't want the marriage. But organization is understanding the natural order of life, period. So gotta understand that. All right, number 8, family values. Family values for me is sometimes a deal breaker with a woman, because if she doesn't have the good family values, then she's not going to respect and love and enjoy my family. She's going to be actually probably be jealous of my family. So family values is a very important deal breaker for me that I desire in a woman to have, is family values. You know, she don't have to have the biggest family in the world, but at the same time, she got to value her family and be real about her family too. You know, a lot of times people don't be real about their family. They try to pretend like paint this big ass picture. Everybody got a fucked up family at some point. So if you could tell me the good or bad about your family, but still have family values, then I would definitely want to rock with you. But if you paint your family to be this perfect fucking Brady Bunch family, then I'm going to think it's a red flag. That's me. How you feel about that, Mo?
Okay, so that's me on the whole. Definitely not the Brady Bunch. I value it, and I think I want it even more because my family is not just I don't think nothing is perfect. Nobody is perfect. My family situation isn't perfect. So the values are, I have it's 110%. It's up there. It's way up there.
Facts.
I want to do all the family things you can do as much as possible, and have that unit. Know that that's important. Even if you don't have anything else, you can have your family.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Even if you don't have anything else, you can have your family.
All right, cool. Mike, you got anything on the family value thing?
I say the same thing, man. Like when it comes down to family values, you gotta see if they're cool enough. You know what I mean? Like they could have issues, but not the issues that either conflict with yours or seriously overly crazy ass issues. I've seen some crazy ass issues where these individuals, man, they had way too much shit going on. And I always said to myself, man, I thought my family was fucked up on some fucked up ass shit in certain parts. Because, you know, you're going to have those kind of people in the family. That's just what they are. Just because you could be related to them doesn't necessarily mean that they're family, especially if they're causing you trouble. But on the other hand, if they try to make everything seem like everything's cool and you're seeing some shit that you don't necessarily normally see, and you're like, man, this shit is way over the top. I'm fucking out of here. That's when you know it's time to go.
Facts.
Period.
Facts.
So you got to rock with somebody who's evenly as yoked as you, and you're willing to be dealing with the issues or shit that's coming along, not some shit that's going to overly cause you to fly off the handle, because that will make your world unstable, and you don't want that.
Facts. Another thing is, moving on to number 9 now, is a thing I would desire in a woman, somebody that's not all about the Joneses. You know, a lot of times when a woman, and, you know, I feel like I desire a woman that's a very attractive woman. But my other issue is having an attractive woman is most attractive women use their looks to gain the whole world. Not all, but a lot of them are very worldly because they have looks and they got put on a pedestal by these simps. So a lot of them are, you know, it's nothing wrong with having nice things, but when you worship nice things, it's a deal breaker for me because, you know, I might could attract a nice looking woman, but if she got all this, I gotta have this Gucci, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. For me, I'm speaking another language on that shit. I go to Goodwill all damn day. But for me, I can't deal with a woman that's like, you know, I get if you want nice things, but if you're to the point that you believe those nice things makes you, that's a sad thing because I feel like attractive people, you make the clothes don't make you. You know, for me, I feel like a man, if you got your body together or a woman or whatever, you can put on a t-shirt, jogging suit, and still be killing the game. If you got your shit together, if you clean, well-groomed, whatever, or a woman nice and neat, it don't matter what you have on. But when you're just to the point when I got to have this, I got to have that, it's a turn off. If you gotta have a Birkin bag and all this extra shit, the door is that way because I'm not that dude. You know what I'm saying? So, how you feel about that, Mo? Of being with somebody that's not keeping up the Joneses? Because guys do it too. Now, guys gotta have all the Gucci shoes and the belts and all that bullshit. I mean, I'm not that type of dude. My lane, that ain't my lane. You feel me? Because I'm more valuable than that superficial shit. How you feel about that, Mo?
Can you hear me okay? I want to make sure I'm not breaking up before I tell you.
Yeah, you good today. You good right now.
Okay, but yeah, I'm not. I've never been wanting to keep up with the Joneses because I feel like that's, in a way, that's comparing yourself because you're trying to keep up with what they have. You're trying to, no, it's not. It doesn't do anything for me. I don't care about names and labels. I like nice things, but I don't live for the brand. I don't have to have Gucci and everything. That doesn't make me. It doesn't fascinate me.
Facts. What about you, Mike? How you feel about the keeping up with the Joneses? Because I don't, like me, like I said, I ain't trying to deal with no woman like that.
Honestly, when it's keeping up with the Joneses, you don't necessarily want to be involved with an individual like that because at the end of the day, it's only going to end up bringing you down. You're trying to elevate, and here it is, this person is chasing after shit that is only going to stay relevant for a short period of time. Now, if they're constantly chasing that for validation, it's going to be a really serious uphill battle, like trying to run up a hill, a muddy hill at that only has a downslope on some muddy-ass shoes, and you're not going to get anywhere with that. You want somebody that's going to help you elevate. If anything, if you're going to have the Joneses going on, make your own Joneses. Hey, I want to see if I could keep on washing these fucking dishes. Hey, I want to keep on who could fucking, stay on who self-improves the best on the house. That's positively competing, and that could seriously potentially bring you more money.
Right.
But if you're doing shit like you're investing in the wrong things, you're putting money in somebody else's pockets. That's a loser's game right there.
Facts.
Well, I want to add something on to that. I used to always say that, especially when people wanted to keep up with no shade to it, but like if you want to keep all the fresh new Jordans, I'm like, he's already a millionaire. I'm trying to be a millionaire. So that's all I got to say about that. Like the Gucci and the Louis, they're paid already. Okay, let me get to their level, and then I'll see if I want to.
Even the sad part about it, the people at those people's level, they don't buy their shit. You see the Bill Gates, all the people that got all the money, and they don't be wearing all that shit. Only people that actually sponsor for the rich people is the athletes and the entertainers. But that's part of the culture most of the time. And they're here to brainwash us to think, we put this on, we made it. No, it's just a piece of clothes or a piece of jewelry, whatever. I don't knock it because I got jewelry, I got nice things, but at the end of the day, are you above what you got on, or the shit you got on you think is above you? That's the big thing. Is do you make the clothes or the clothes make you? And that's all I want to say about that one. Because at the end of the day, it's just a piece of cloth. So you can't take it to the cemetery. Well, actually, it can bury your ass in it, but but anyway. All right, the last one, last but not least, is the number 10 on what I desire in a woman is her value for money and her finances together. We all know women are the biggest consumers when it comes to credit card debt, when it comes to student loan debt. Women will go spend money and go shopping for the dopamine of feeling good about her emotions, not knowing that she don't even need this shit. She probably got 10 pairs of the same type of blue jeans in the closet, and women will go broke trying to go for their dopamine. And I definitely don't want to date a woman that don't know the value of $1, because at the end of the day, that's when the organization comes in. When I was talking about a woman being clean and organized, a woman should be organized to her wardrobe, just like she organized towards her fitness and everything else. But our organization for a wardrobe is knowing it's nothing wrong with buying new stuff. But you gotta understand, I gotta let this go, gotta let that go, bring this new shit in, replenish it with old shit. You can change up your wardrobe here and there, but if you just keep hoarding shit because you want to feel good, then I'm gonna know you're insecure in the long run. But at the end of the day, is money value is a big key because a lot of men do not want to walk in bill. Do not want to walk in bill, period. All women don't want to walk in bill. But finances is key. I ain't saying you gotta be the richest person in the world. I ain't saying you gotta make the most money in the world. Because there's a woman that's working right now at Burger King living better than a woman that's working at a fucking office somewhere, because the woman at Burger King is strategically about her value for her money compared to a woman that's working at an office. She trying to keep up with the Joneses because she got the career and the title. Just like I said before we got to number 10, but the value of money, a value of a dollar, a value of understanding that I can go out a whole day and not spend a dime and have fun and love nature, love this, love that. It shows in the long run. It helps a woman, to me, feel complete. If a woman could be complete with a going on a picnic or walk to a park, or just doing something, walking around some water and not spend a dime, that shit shows a lot about her character and where her mind at about money. Because if you gotta spend money to have fun, then eventually you're gonna run out. You're gonna have to pay for it later in life. So that's how I feel about that. How you feel about that, Mike or Mo?
Sorry about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
How you feel about the money value, or the value of money for a woman?
The money of value for a woman, depending on what her mindset is. Women are the biggest spenders. They like to spend. They like to look good. They want to attract men. They want to stunt for their friends and shit like that. But depending on where her mindset is, how she likes to keep money, where's her status at, will ultimately determine if she's going to spend it and be like, man, that's nothing, that's little money, I want big shit, like that, will ultimately determine where she's going to be at later on down the line. If she's smart, she's going to save that money, she's going to invest it, and have that money come back to her tenfold, as opposed to a person that's trying to keep up with the Joneses, like you said, and just piss it all away like it's liquid money. It's going to fall right through her hands. What she has to do is she has to get the cup and then go for the jug after that. She's got the cup, she's got the fluid in the cup, the money, and then she needs to work on how she's going to get that after investing in it to get a bigger jug. That way she could have more of that, and that is being smart. When you're making investments, you're smarter. You want more money. You want to be able to spend money, but without losing a majority of it. So that way you can recoup it back with guaranteed money with the least amount of risk.
Facts. How you feel about that, Mo?
Well, I think it's about being an asset, not a liability. Like you said, don't be a walking bill. And then just to chime in on that, the comment you made about, do you have to spend money to go out and have fun? I had one relationship, and I came in the gate saying, we could just take a walk, go to the beach. I live by the lake, so that we could go to the lakefront. And then I was shut down. He said, I don't want to do this free stuff. So I'm like, okay, so me is not valuing money. He wants to go. I'm like, really?
Word. So wait a minute. Hold on. Pause. He wanted to spend money on you to go somewhere, or he just wanted you to spend money on him to go somewhere? Because I'm not sure if I'm understanding this, but if a chick said, let's go to the lake, let's go for a walk out in the park, I'm like, shit, I'm going to bring the bread, let's go feed the ducks if there's any over there. Because I had one chick tell me, I said, she said, well, where do you want to go? I said, man, we're in the shopping district, so let's go around the block, maybe, get maybe a little Italian ices and shit. And she was just like, well, that sounds boring. So you know what I did, right? I said, hold on, I'll be right back. I got to go make a call. She was like, I'll call around the corner. I said, yeah, sure. Went, got back in my car, started that bitch up, and peeled out. I'm just like, hey, go by yourself. You want to go ahead and fuck around with that.
Damn. That's crazy.
I don't think it's that he wanted me to pay. He just didn't want to go do free stuff. And I'm like, who doesn't want? I thought that was a romantic way to get to know each other. But...
Wow. Well, shit, man, we about to close. That was my last one. 10 things I desire in a woman. The first thing I'll go over it again. It was God-fearing, attraction must match. Number 3 was great communicator. Number 4 was proactive thinker. Number 5 was spontaneous lover. Number 6 was fitness and appearance must be on point. Number 7 was clean and organized. Number 8 was family values. Number 9 was not a person that's trying to keep up with the Joneses. And number 10 was a person that keep their finances together. So those was the 3 videos we went over. Was 10 things I desire in a woman. You can check that out on my channel. I used a Weird Science movie clip for that one, and then 10 Commandments of Dating. That was one of my first couple videos. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little boring on that video, but oh well. The information got out. And then the 7 C's in a committed relationship. I think I was a little boring on that too. I was scared. I was camera shy. So those are old school SAC 44 videos on YouTube. You know, check them out, guys. But it was a good live stream. You know, I think we learned a lot about what we need to do to strengthen the relationships, because relationships is hard work. At the end of the day, there's no two people in the world alike. And for you to connect with a person, you definitely gotta find somebody that understand the playbook of life that you run for yourself. You want somebody that's gonna compliment you, not complicate you. So with that being said, I'm gonna talk to Mike real quick. Well, I'll start with Mo and then I'll close with Mike. Mo, you got anything you want to say on the topic tonight? Because we got to close. Relationships are hard work. How you feel about that? And you know.
I just want to thank you again for letting me come on. Thank you for your platform. Thank you, Mike. Nice talking to you. And thank you about priorities, too. You know, along with being organized, it's also knowing what your priorities are. And that can help you in a relationship, too.
All right, Mo. You call in anytime you want, though. But
all right. Well, y'all have a good night.
All right. Have a good night.
All right, bet.
Absolutely. But I think that, you know, when you have that certain mindset, you know, you could actually make it better on yourself than harder on yourself. Because remember, relationships, it's all about that mindset. The mindset of what you're dealing with and what you're really not ready to deal with, or what you don't want to deal with. And I'm gonna say one thing too. Thanks, Stat. You know what I'm saying? It's serious out there. People really need to know, and I thank you for the knowledge that you've given me and everybody. Mo, I just want to say we love you, girl. We want to get more ladies called in on here too, man, so that we can always hear your point of view as well. Fellas, y'all gotta step it up, man. I want to see more calls in from the fellas too, for real. But Stat, keep doing what you're doing, man, and I thank you for this platform. Still keep doing the damn thing, man. Keep going with these hot ass topics, and let's make it happen. Yeah,
we'll be back next Saturday. For people that's in the chat, I got DM real quick. You could call in anytime. Just because we got 2 people on the phone don't mean we got more. So the call line is always open. Period. You know, it don't stop. Well, right now it's stopped now because I'm about to close here. But next time we're going in, just call in the middle of the show and it's open for you. So whoever, I think I had a couple people DM me about it. I'm gonna DM them, let them know they can call whenever. You know, don't be shy to call on in. Just call on in and join the discussion. That's why we're here on Saturdays, and soon we'll be doing Saturdays and Sundays. But the call line's open for we can get the dialogue from man's point of view, women's point of view, or just your personal experience point of view, or whatever the topic it is. So, but that's all you had to say, Mike?
Yeah, man, pretty much, man. I just want to thank you for that platform, man. Keep them good topics coming, man.
All right, man. Well, I'll holler at you next week, bro.
Wow.
All right. Peace. Yeah, after the Super Bowl, the next week I'm going to start doing Saturdays and Sundays. So be looking for that, guys. It's going to be going down. Stack 44, YouTube. Make sure y'all share these videos for people that you know that might need to hear this information. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. The channel's growing every day. We're getting more subscribers every day. I appreciate everybody that came over here that respect the platform and respect what I have to say and rock with me. I know we're not going to agree, but that's why we have the platform of the live streams to understand what a man thinks and what a woman thinks, so we can close the gap on having better relationships and working hard for one another. So at the end of the day, much love to Mo, much love for everybody that watch it, and hopefully you guys rewatch it. And I'll holler at you guys on the next live stream. Let's attack our lives. Let's stack up our lives. And I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.